We're going to play some musical chairs here for our next guest, and I think we're about ready. Okay, Byron Elton. He's the Chief Operating Officer and President of Carbon Sciences. CABN is the stock symbol. Byron, good to see you again.
Thank you, Don. Always a pleasure.
Nice quick change in the chair, by the way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we have to be nimble. Today's
now, you folks are kind of giddy this week. There was an article in USA Today, both in the print edition, and here's a shot of it in the online edition. Tell us about that.
Well, it's been a big week for us. As you know, last week we filed the first of a series of patents describing and protecting our technology, which transforms carbon dioxide into gasoline and other fuels. And yesterday, yes, we were prominently featured in a USA Today article in the money section. And the article, Paul Davidson, the guy that wrote the article, actually, he started off by saying, CO2, public enemy number one.
Okay.
And as you and I have talked about, we love that, of course, because it's the very source of the problem, carbon dioxide, that we use for our particular unique and proprietary approach. But it was, what was great about it is it really kind of created a category. You know, we've been out there talking about the fact that we've got this technology that takes carbon dioxide, and because of our biocatalytic process, we can turn it into gasoline and other fuels. It's so unique that people have a hard time, well, what's the category? It's not bio, it's not wind, it's not solar. And this article really talked about other people doing the same thing, acknowledges that there's this extraordinary problem, and that CO2, there's something needs to be done with it. It talked about sequestration, just hiding it somewhere. Talked about the work going on at Sandia Labs. And then it talked about Carbon Sciences, this company in Santa Barbara, California, and then went on to say that we were running ahead of everybody in terms of turning carbon dioxide into fuel. The market responded extremely positively, and yeah, that was a good day for us yesterday.
Now, they're going to, I would hope, I mean, if this guy is any kind of a journalist at all, but are they going to come back and see you next month, so to speak, as you unveil your prototype? Is there going to be a follow-up to this, you think?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I talked to Paul yesterday, or we corresponded actually emails. And the prototype, as you know, we've been promising by the end of March. We're going to make that. As a matter of fact, we're tantalizingly close. So stay tuned for that. There'll be some big news. You know, you have a personal invitation to jump in your helicopter, come on up to Santa Barbara and see that in person. Yeah,
my helicopter is one of those funny ones with no gyro and 4 wheels on the ground, but I'll always take a trip up to Santa Barbara. Yeah, we would like to cover that. We would certainly like to present that here on the program. So, to simplify situations, exhaust is essentially CO2. It's carbon dioxide.
It's a lot of things, but a lot of CO2.
There's a lot of CO2 in it.
Yeah.
And you're able to capture that and convert it back to usable liquid fuel. Is that in a nutshell what you do?
Right. Well, of course, once CO2 goes into the air, it's gone. So
right.
the idea is that it'll be captured at the source.
Correct.
Lots of sources. And that's precisely what we do. It's a biocatalytic process. Our particular technology takes and creates an environment where those biocatalysts, who under normal circumstances perform their mission, stitch together the hydrogen and the carbon and make fuel, allows them to perform and exist for longer periods of time. Those are the economies of scale that really make Carbon Sciences very, very special.
Now, do you envision a possible future where, for example, an automobile, the exhaust port would go in, instead of going out the tailpipe, would go back in through a biocatalytic converter to create more usable fuel? Is that a possibility? Are we looking at that in the future?
You know, I saw an interview with an MIT professor the other day, and he said, there's no such thing as science fiction anymore. So the stuff that I thought was science fiction when I was going to high school, we're doing today. Probably a long way off from that, because that's not a significant amount of carbon dioxide from one car. But listen, of course it'll happen.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that the scale that we can apply our technology to is really quite extraordinary, and we think a point of departure from all other approaches. I had a call from a guy on Monday. This is very interesting. A lime quarry in Missouri. And he said, can you guys really, he's looking at the formula, you know, a metric ton of CO2, 150 gallons of gasoline. I said, absolutely. And he said, well, if that's true, and it is, he said, we emit enough CO2 here at my plant in Missouri to make 700,000 gallons of gasoline every single day.
Wow.
Well, that's just one guy.
The only thing to say to that, I guess, is beam me up, Scotty. Again, Carbon Sciences, CABN. Thanks for the update.
Thank you, Don.